Welcome back everyone, welcome to the show. My name is Stefan and this is the French Cooking Academy. Thanks for joining me again on that episode. And look at this, I'm surrounded by produce. And tons of produce here and pans, and that means we're going to be cooking something pretty special. The recipe we're going to learn today is the chicken and rice supreme Escoffier style. So if you like chicken, if you like rice, and if you like a beautiful sauce, you better keep watching. The chicken and rice supreme, guys, what a name. So why is it called like this? Well, simply because it's a recipe that is a poached chicken that is served with rice and comes along with a sauce, a white sauce called the sauce supreme or supreme sauce. This is why it's called like that. What I found really amazing about it is that it all revolves around the chicken stock. Okay, so if you watch my video this week about how to make your homemade from scratch chicken stock, you're going to be able to use all the stock and more. So if you got plenty of stock in your freezer, this is the recipe for you. Now, this recipe, why is it amazing? Because it really, what I think, uses the stock in so many ways. And we're gonna make 4 things out of that stock. We're gonna use the stock, number 1, to cook the chicken. We're gonna poach the chicken. Number 2, we're gonna use the stock to make a pilaf rice. Number 3, we're gonna make a sauce with the same chicken stock. And number 4, when we're all done, we're gonna use the broth to serve it as a starter. It's like a full-blown meal with 1 chicken stock and a few ingredients. How amazing is this? So let's get to your pan and let's cook. Well, now this is a big food prep. I don't even have enough space on my frame to fit all of that. So this is my food preparation. And remember, when you start a recipe, always first wash your hands. Then the second step is going to be peeling and washing the vegetables. And then you can start cutting them for your food preparation like I did. I'll put all the details in the video description, at least all the ingredients. So don't worry. But as a rough guide, I'm using carrot, chervil. I've got curly parsley, button mushrooms, onion, flowers and butter, unsalted butter for the roux, 2 bouquet garni. I got a video on this from this week that explains how to make them. Put a link on the video. 2 onions with cloves, jasmine rice, a good pot of pure cream. You can use heavy whipping cream, and here is a whole chicken of 1.5 kilo. I put the translation in the video description as well in pounds. 4 chicken wings, and this is about 4 cups of a lovely pre-made homemade chicken stock I've made. So that's a lot of lovely ingredients. Then let's start this recipe. Now let's start by preparing the chicken. So as you can see inside here, I've got already salt and pepper, so rock salt and pepper, and we need to basically put some flavors in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some parsley in there, and we're also gonna take the bouquet garni, and same thing, to avoid that the stock becomes very cloudy, we're gonna put that in. You can also put in a little bit of mushrooms, like you've got here. So same thing, I'm gonna put that inside. When that's done, I'm gonna truss the chicken with the string, like that. And this is a video, it was explained on the video already earlier, so I'm not gonna show that now. And just watch the video, I'll put the link on the screen if you want to see how to truss the chicken with the string. All done. So the chicken has been trussed, as you can see here, with the string. Is nice and neat. And what you need to do next is to basically coat that chicken with a bit of lemon, because we want to keep that whiteness of the skin. And this is a practice that's done in French cooking when you poach meat like this, especially chicken. So all over the chicken, even under, I can turn it around, and you're just gonna apply a good dose of lemon a bit everywhere like that. So let's do this. The big stock pot, this is 10-liter stock pot. You put all the garnish at the bottom with the onions, and then you take your chicken and you put that on top. Next step is just to pour all of the stock inside. My chicken is just about submerged, and now I can start and put my heat on high, and we're gonna first bring that to the boil. To add more flavor to my chicken, I've 4 chicken wings I've cut in half, and I'm gonna blanch them and add them to my mix. So you start in cold water and you just bring it to the boil. As soon as it's boiled for 1 or 2 minutes, we're gonna rinse them, and I'm gonna add them in the chicken, in the pot. My chicken wings have been blanched here, and I'm just gonna add them in one by one. We're not gonna put any salt right now because the chicken has been salted already, and we're just gonna wait halfway through to see how the seasoning goes, and add more if needed. The first boil just about appears on there. Immediately you're gonna put a lid on and the clock to 45 minutes. And you're gonna put this on a simmer in the back of the stove. Alright, the clock has started and now we can start to do all the little preparation. The first thing we're gonna do is white cooking the mushrooms. As soon as your water almost reached the boil, as you can see, the butter has melted here, is nice. And what it does, this thing, it tries to keep the whiteness of the mushrooms. But most importantly, we're gonna need that mushroom juice for the sauce, and that's the Escoffier recommendation. So as soon as it starts to boil, on the simmer, same thing, and you put that on the back of the stove as well. So we're gonna prepare the next thing. 15 minutes have passed already while I've been cooking here. And you may wonder, what is the star of the show in that dish? Well, the star of the show is the sauce, that supreme sauce. For that sauce, we need to have a roux. So you're gonna start by melting your butter, and then we're gonna incorporate the flour, because we need to have that roux cold. We're gonna use the technique using a cold roux with a hot liquid, and here's gonna be the stock. All right, the butter is foaming. We add all of the flour at once, and we mix well. If your fire is too high, make sure to put it on low when you do this. Once everything is incorporated like this, very low heat, and you're gonna leave these to cook by mixing it like this very gently for about 2 minutes and up to 2.5 minutes maximum. And this is to kill the floury taste. When the roux is cooked, turn the heat off, and you're going to leave that pan somewhere on its own where it can cool down on its own, and we'll go back to it later when we start the sauce. So the roux has to be totally cold before we use it. And now back to the mushrooms. After 10 minutes on the simmer, you can turn the heat off and leave them on the side of the stove to cool down gently. Okay, we're 30 minutes in, and it's time to make the pilaf rice. The pilaf rice is a rice that you cooked in the oven, so you have to preheat your oven to 200 degrees Celsius or 396 or 92 Fahrenheit. And you're gonna need some of that lovely stock to cook the rice. The measurement for the pilaf rice is very simple. 1 measure of rice for 1.5 measure of liquid. In this case, we're gonna be using 2 cups of rice. So we need 3 cups of stock. So you're just gonna take a little pan and you'll sieve and filter 3 cups of that lovely stock in another pan and put it on the side. If the stock starts to be not enough, so you can start to see the chicken, you just top it up with a little bit of water. And I'm gonna show you how to make that lovely rice. And now let's make the rice. So you start by the pan, low heat. You're going to put some butter in and melt it slowly before we add the onions. As soon as the butter foams, you put all the onions in. And we're just going to basically make them sweat. That's the usual thing. So just very low heat, mix them well with the butter. And we're going to wait until they get like that kind of translucent aspect to them. As soon as the onions are a bit translucent and you see that color, you're gonna put your rice. So you don't even need to wash the rice. This is the great thing about it. So you just pour all the rice in. And same thing here, very gently you're gonna coat the rice with all that butter and the onions. So just for a minute or so. All done. And as soon as this is in, there goes the stock. All right, as soon as the stock is in, you make that little parchment paper lid on top to avoid any drying. You put a lid on that pot and we're going to place it in the oven and leave it to cook for 20 minutes. So when the chicken is cooked, you're going to take it out of its bath like this, and we're going to reserve it on a large tray with a little bit of stock at the bottom and cover it with a foil and leave it to rest on there while we're making the sauce. And now for the sauce. So very quickly, you're going to remove all of the garnish and the chicken wings and everything, and then filter your stock through a sieve and put it in a large saucepan so we can get ready to reduce it for the sauce. Okay, so this is the important part when it comes to making the sauce. We want to get these flavors. Remember Escoffier, it's all about concentrated flavors. So we need to reduce 3 cups of stock to get left about just 2 cups. So we go from 3 cups to 2 cups to really get these strong flavors. Okay, I've just taken out the rice of the oven. Let's have a look. Oh, looks good. Wow, it's hot. Oh, look at that. Let's zoom in a little bit. So once the rice is cooked, you need to make that égrené. You detach the grains and mix it one last time. So as you can see, this is a simple way of making a rice. It's very efficient. Got plenty of rice for everyone in there. And this is infused now with the chicken stock and the chicken flavors, which is really going to bring another dimension to your dish when you serve it with the sauce. Last step for the rice, you just put a little piece of butter as we do in France, and you're just gonna stir it through to make sure it's nice and moist. And when this is done, you're just gonna reserve it on the side, and keep it warm until we keep on making our sauce. And now let's make the sauce. Now the sauces always fascinate me, so it's transforming ingredients, it's like a bit chemistry. So we've got the roux that's cold, and we're gonna take our very hot stock and pour it over roux, and you're gonna, without the fire on, the heat on, you're gonna start like that. Pour all of the stock that we've been reducing and mix it well with everything, like with all of the roux, and we're gonna start by making that velouté. As soon as the roux is well incorporated, like here, you're gonna put the heat on, let's say medium-low or low to medium maximum, and we're gonna bring this to the boil and let it gently boil for a good 10 minutes or more to really again reduce and get this flavor started. Look at this velouté reducing, isn't that beautiful? What Escoffier is telling us now is to take a sieve basically and add, you know, this mushroom juice that we had? Concentrated mushroom essence. So you add that in and leave it to reduce again. Now I think I've understood what the challenges are making that supreme sauce. And Escoffier is very insistent on reduction time that are very long. And it also always says that you need to have a stock made beforehand that is already really concentrated. What I've got here, that's been reducing for more than 10 minutes, and I barely have the chicken concentrate taste. It tastes like chicken, but very, very lightly. So the weapon of Escoffier is to add some chicken essence. Now the chicken essence, what I've done, I am boiling to death some of my chicken stock, and I'm gonna reduce it until it makes just basically a tablespoon of concentrated flavor to add more flavor. So we're gonna keep on going, Escoffier style, 2 tablespoons of cream in there to make it more white. And then mix that in, and again reduce. You'll be amazed that Escoffier is reckoning you need to reduce that sauce for 1 hour. That's insane. Okay, my essence is done. Look at that. This is insane. This is like a 1/4 cup reduced to a tablespoon. Now Escoffier, that guy, he knows what he's doing, but let's taste this. Wow, now that is a chicken taste. Jesus. Oh, sorry about the Jesus, but I mean, wow. Now that's what I want to see. Okay, let's pour that in the velouté. Now back to the velouté, that is still reducing after almost 20 minutes. We're totally out of whack with the time. That proved to be a challenge, that sauce. So I'll give all my feedback at the end, but let's put that essence. Escoffier said, look at this, it is becoming brown though. It's about a tablespoon of, this is like super concentrated, and I didn't put any salt because you'll be amazed that that tablespoon was really salty. Okay, so let me try that. I mean, this is insane. Yeah, well, that works. Yeah, definitely, immediately the essence, boom. So in the background, there's that kind of chicken coming with a cape like Superman, like boom. You know, enlightening the day. Now that starts to taste like chicken. So I'm gonna keep on reducing it another, you know what, 10-15 minutes, because it's not to my taste or the Escoffier taste. I've put my chicken back in the oven just on a very low temperature to keep it warm. Sorry guys, but we'll do the plating. We're gonna take that challenge and I'll see you the result. Wow, people, that's it. We're reaching the end of that sauce. We're almost there with the taste. The last step, it says add a few mushrooms. Okay, and finally, we can add in there some salt. So I'm just gonna take a little bit because it's already kind of salty, but just a little bit of special pink salt in there. Now, the final touch is just to add apparently a little bit of cream. The heat is off. A last stir. And our supreme sauce is ready. Wow, challenging sauce, guys, not for everyone. So I'll give my feedback in a sec. Just dress up the plate and we'll have a look. I wanted to cut that sequence, but you know, we spent so much time now that it doesn't matter anymore. I think, look. So this is the skin. So you remove the skin like that to reveal the real pristine whiteness of the chicken here. And basically, we're just gonna carve in into that meat. So it's just a matter of detaching a piece of the meat here. And I'm just gonna cut one like that. And as you can see, it's still actually very hot. Also very hot. And this is the meat in there. Not sure if you can see, but this is what I'm gonna take and put on the plate. Quality check. I know some people always ask me, oh, can you cut the meat and stuff like that? So you see, it is, you see the water? It is juicy, trust me. It's not dry at all. Wow, done. Man, that guy, Escoffier, is a character. He knows his stuff. It's really plain amazing. So this is the design I've tried to come up with that represents the chicken wings, and it's trying to flying off with the body here. I put the rice in the middle with a little tower, and that's just some little decoration. The essence of that dish is that supreme sauce that apparently really needs to be all over. So it's a very pristine and thick sauce. So I'm gonna try to just go around a little bit on the rice, but not too much. And it's all in the delicacy of that sauce, you see? It's all about the sauce. That's why I understand now. Let's maybe a drizzle on the rice to make a little tower. Okay. We're gonna keep it very pristine if we can. And really just, I don't want to put much things on there because it's the whole work. Okay, and that would be it. So I put little mushrooms on here. Dare I try it? I mean, that's the question. So I'll take a little bit of the sauce. Let me try that, see how it goes. Oh, the chicken is really juicy and tender. Love that part. The sauce, it's interesting because it's very delicate, actually. I was expecting something more punchy, you know, from Escoffier, but from its description, it says it has to be a very clean, pure, and delicate type of sauce. It has to be really white. So we've got a bit of a tinge here. It's not totally white, but still, I think, you know what, it's a pretty good job. So what can I say to complete the video? First off, it is a challenge to get that sauce right, and you need to have a stock pre-made beforehand, and it needs to be reduced, and you even need to have a chicken essence, which is like tons of stock reduced to a minimum of the minimum to get this flavor. And today I've learned something really from Escoffier and his way of reducing and getting this flavor. And when I'm going back to bed tonight, I'm gonna be more clever and I'm gonna be back for more French recipe. I really enjoyed that today. So sorry about the long range and all these steps, but this is it. Chicken supreme with the rice. By the way, let me try the rice. Lovely. Wow, it goes well with the sauce. Sorry. Okay, but that completes the video for the week. Sorry, people. This is the chicken supreme from Escoffier. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a bit long. If you can try it at home, try it. It's a bit of a challenge, but next time we'll try to do something more easy. Take care. As always, if you can subscribe to my Patreon page, it would be lovely to help me make more videos. Love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.